Here goes the message. Thank you so much for your trust and choosing us for your daughter. Today we carefully observed her and would like to share some feedback with you. At the moment, she is 1 year and 1 month old. And unfortunately, we feel that she may still be a bit too early for her to start attending. At this age, children especially need to be close to their mothers, and the adaptation process can be more challenging. We truly care about her emotional comfort and want her first experience to be as gentle and positive as possible. For this reason, we are not able to enroll her in the group at this time. We would be happy to welcome you when she is around 1.5 years old. By then, it will likely be easier for her to adapt, and the transition will be smoother and more comfortable for her. Thank you very much for your understanding. We look forward to seeing you again a year later in May or June. Story time. Something interesting happened to me about a few weeks ago. I'm talking barely a month ago. I took my 1 year old daughter to a nursery or kindergarten for American listeners here. I took her to this kindergarten, and day one, they rejected her, or let me say, she was expelled. What really happened? Yeah, it's a long story, but and that's what we're here to talk about. Oh, yeah, let's just keep it simple. They sent her back, and for one major reason. And that is what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about the difference between the academic system in Nigeria versus the academic system in Kazakhstan. Coming to Kazakhstan, there are lots of things that I still see for the first time that amaze me, and I never thought I would or I could experience. And this is one beautiful and let me say surprising part of it. And the major thing is education, the education system. I have been in the system for a while, but I haven't had a baby or I haven't had a daughter to experience this with. Back in January, I think my daughter clocked 1 in January. So February, I decided to enroll her in a kindergarten. But prior to this time, I had already made my inquiries. And one place I went to, they got to know I am a teacher, and they told me to bring my daughter, even before she was 1 year of age. They told me to bring her in, and they would take me on a part-time basis in an exchange to teach my daughter or to have my daughter for free. So I would teach them for free, and I don't pay for my daughter. Do you understand that? And that is the agreement we had. But that was my search in November. At this time, I wasn't willing to let my daughter go in November. So I told them to wait till January. So fast forward to January, I called them, I contacted them, and I told them, okay, I am ready. Can I come in now? And they told me, unfortunately, they had found a teacher, which means now if my daughter comes in, I pay, which I agreed. It's not a problem. So I agreed to paying for my daughter, right? They gave me the list of things I needed. I did everything possible. I did everything they asked of me. Now for resumption day, this is how resumption works in Kazakhstan for kindergarten. I never knew that. I got to know that a few weeks ago. I'm talking about late February, right? This is March. If you're watching this, this is March 2026, March 18, 2026. Now, so the goal is that the way they do introduction or the way they introduce, can I call it toddlers, is that the first 2 days you go from 8 till 12. You pick up your child at 12 o'clock. Then day three, you pick up your child at 3 o'clock. Day three and four, 3 o'clock. And day five, the child does full day. So day one, what happened prior to day one was we had planned to, take our daughter there. We were excited. Well, my wife was excited because she wants to go back to work, right? I was a bit skeptical, but I went ahead with the plan because I want my wife to go back to work. We're abroad and she's just tired. Before resumption day, my daughter found it hard to sleep. I don't know why. She sometimes does that. She slept around 3 o'clock. Usually, when my daughter sleeps late, we wake her up late. Like she sleeps at 12, 1, 2. She wakes up at 10, 11. But on resumption day, we had to wake her up early at as early as 7 o'clock or 6:30. We had to wake her up as early as 7 o'clock because resumption was 8 o'clock. We got her up. She was like tired. She looked, drunk in a way. Okay, still dozing. We took her to the bathroom. She had a shower and the likes. Then I think I still have pictures. I'll try to put the pictures here. We took her there. When she got there, they accepted her. She was the only black kid in this kindergarten, so they accepted her. We were excited to see her. She was a bit young, but yeah. My wife went out. Funny enough, I think my wife had a job interview that same day, or probably a part-time job. So she went out immediately around. So immediately, no, before she went out, immediately we dropped her there. We came back home and we slept. I think it was the, I don't want to say the word best sleep, an amazing sleep. And we hadn't had that in a year. Long story short, around 11 o'clock, the class teacher contacted me and said, "Hey, your daughter has been sleeping since she since she got here. Is everything okay with her?" I said, "Of course." Her sleep pattern is different. She sleeps and she wakes up around 11 o'clock. So she's still trying to force herself to sleep. So she couldn't participate with other students. I don't know what they're trying to get children, 1 year olds or 2 year olds, to participate in the morning. Let them relax and have fun. 12 o'clock came. We were supposed to pick our daughter, right? My wife finished what she was doing outside and she went straight to the place, picked her up, and brought her home. I then contacted the administrator. Okay, when do we pay? Do we pay now or at the end of the introduction? So she said towards the end of introduction. Once they once they decide to accept her. So I was confident. Then it was later in the evening, I'm talking about 6 p.m. I got a message from the administrator and they said something. Oh no, this is my video. My phone is here. Let me see if I can check my WhatsApp. Here goes the message. "Thank you so much for your trust and choosing us for your daughter. Today we carefully observed her and would like to share some feedback with you. At the moment, she is 1 year and 1 month old. And unfortunately, we feel that she may still be a bit too early for her to start attending. At this age, children especially need to be close to their mothers, and the adaptation process can be more challenging. We truly care about her emotional comfort and want her first experience to be as gentle and positive as possible. For this reason, we are not able to enroll her in the group at this time. We would be happy to welcome you when she's around 1.5 years old. By then, it will likely be easier for her to adapt, and the transition will be smoother and more comfortable for her. Thank you very much for your understanding. We look forward to seeing you again a year later in May or June." I was extremely furious, and it kept ringing in my head. I forwarded the message to my wife, and she was just like, "Oh God." Funny enough, she saw it coming. She went to pick her up, right? And they kept asking for her age, which she didn't tell me. She didn't want to get me suspecting anything, so she didn't tell me. I was furious. I got angry. I think what made me got angry was because I I felt I had failed my daughter and I felt irresponsible because of the message. The message made me feel irresponsible and I felt every reason to explain myself, to let them understand that I am Nigerian. Now, here comes the question. Why the statement I am Nigerian? Before coming to Kazakhstan, I also worked in a school. I started teaching in Nigeria. And back in that school, every schools in Nigeria, especially private schools, they have their nursery and kindergarten. So this school I saw there's something we call crèche in Nigeria, and I saw babies 6 months, 10 months coming, staying in these crèches and staying there till their parents come back. And the reason for that is what I'm about to explain now. The reason for that is because Nigerian mothers or everybody, a lot of people, according to the law in Nigeria, we women have this maternity leave of 3 months. I think in Nigeria, I'm not sure if it's for private or public, but basically it's just 3 months, and it counts the day you stop work. So most mothers or most women, they stop going to work a day to their due date. So if you are to have your baby tomorrow, you stop going to work today. Sometimes some people get into labor at work. Yeah, it's cruel. I understand that. It's cruel, but that is the way it is. And 3 months into that, they are expected to go back to work. Okay? Now, I have seen firsthand mothers without parents around them put, putting their children in crèches, in nurseries. And that was my experience coming to Kazakhstan. Coming to Kazakhstan, I discovered that mothers are given 3 solid years of maternity leave. Crazy, right? 3 solid years of maternity. And that just blows my mind every time I think about it. Now, the 3 years maternity leave enables private institutions, basically, they don't have crèches in Kazakhstan. They only have kindergartens, nurseries, and it starts from a minimum of maybe 2 years or 1.5 years. These people are just willing to accept her at 1.5 years. I have seen some for 1 year, 3 months, but you know that to them it's unfair to the children. It's like we're being cruel parents without knowing the circumstances behind all of this. I had an inkling of this happening when my wife was pregnant because at work they told her to stop work at month 6, I think. She was advised to stop work at month, and she was trying to push like let's go to 8, let's do 7, 8, and then stop work at month 6. So, and that is the environment we have in Kazakhstan. In Kazakhstan starts this kindergarten at 2, and they don't start school until maybe age 6. And that's the thing. So they go to kindergarten, they go to prep schools. Children are asked to go to public schools close to their houses. We have a lot of public schools, and the standards are considerable. So they go to public schools. If you can afford private, you can take them to any length. But if your children are going to public school, it has to be close by. About the Kazakhstan's education system, there is still a lot of things I would love to talk about, but let's just keep it here. Let's stop at um, maternity leave and admission into crèches and nurseries. If you want me to talk more about Kazakhstan educational system, let me know. You can write into the conversation. I'll always be there to talk about that. And see you in the next one. Goodbye.